If you're someone who loves to draw, unbox, or simply enjoy making a good cup of coffee, then you probably attempted doing a shot like this. The best videos you'll see on YouTube will more often than not include some sort of overhead or flat lay shot, and while I do think they're really beautiful and that they add a professional touch to your videos, it can be super tricky to set up correctly. So when BENRO Philippines reached out to us and asked us if we'd be interested to do a collaboration with him, of course I said yes. Hi, my name is Justin, and if you're new to the channel, we make videos about photography, filmmaking, travel, and gear. So if you're into that kind of content, then maybe you could consider subscribing, as it's the easiest and simplest way to support this channel. Today's video is in partnership with BENRO Philippines. BENRO is one of the biggest and most popular brands when it comes to camera tripods, and they'd heard that one of my biggest struggles as a content creator is doing those overhead or top-down shots. So they surprised me and sent me this tripod over for free to test and review. It also came with a free shirt. So really quickly, I just want to say thanks to the amazing people over at BENRO Philippines. This means a lot to me in this channel. While they did send this tripod, as with all my other reviews on this channel, I'll do my best to give you guys 100% honest and unbiased review by stating not just the positives, but also the negatives about the tripod too. Just so if you're looking to purchase this particular one, it helps you make a better and more informed decision in the process. So in this video, we're checking out the BENRO SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod. The SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod belongs to a series of tripods from BENRO that aims to provide a versatile tripod with the compactness and form factor of a travel tripod. It's made of aluminum and magnesium alloy components, so the tripod feels sturdy and of premium quality, but at the same time not really heavy, coming in at just under 2 kilograms of weight. It has a very impressive strength to weight ratio, supporting a maximum load capacity of 14 kilos or 30 pounds. When used as a normal tripod, it goes from 1,355mm to as high as 1,655mm, and it also goes as low as 390mm, which is great for low-level macro photography. It has a reverse folding legs design that wrap around the center column, providing a more compact unit for transportation that when folded makes the tripod only 495mm or 19.5 inches. Each one of the tripod's legs feature a 4-section design, allowing for the optional deployment of different leg sections to achieve varying heights. They also utilize BENRO's sealed twist locks, which help to resist dust and moisture. The tripod screw and rubber feet can be replaced with stainless steel spikes, which can be very useful for outdoor situations. Meanwhile, one of the legs, marked with a blue ring, can be joined with the center column to form a monopod, a useful feature for shooting in environments where tripods may not be permitted. And probably the most important feature of this tripod, which is most likely the main reason you'd want to check it out, is that it's designed specifically to take overhead shots. The center column features a unique lateral arm function, which allows the column to tilt horizontally and lock in a wide range of different angles and positions, which means easier top-down shots from now on. Now I know all of that sounds good on paper, but let's try and see how well it actually performs in the real world. Now to do that, I'm using a heavy setup today. This is my Sony a7 III with a cage, a top handle, an external monitor, an external microphone, and for the lens, I'm using a wide angle lens. This is actually my Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. because it's sharp, and for tabletop shots like this, you want something wide, so you're able to include much of what's on the table or whatever it is that you're doing. You'll be able to show more of it. And this lens is actually really good and sharp even with its aperture wide open. And of course, at f1.4 you get a really nice blur, so it helps your viewers focus on whatever it is that you want them to focus on a little bit easier. Upon my early tests with this tripod, I figured and I realized that with this setup and this tripod alone, it was a little bit hard to lock the camera in place just because of the way I guess the threads on the cage and the screw on the tripod is set out. I couldn't really face it downwards properly. So I figured I'd be needing another ball head or fluid head attachment on this. So I reached out to BENRO Philippines and they sent this BENRO B2 ball head tripod, this time as a loaner, just so I can make the whole setup work. So again, I want to say thank you to BENRO Philippines for doing that. Now, the good thing about using a cage and this tripod here is that this cage is actually an ARRI style mount has an ARRI style mount on the bottom, and since this tripod, this ball head is an ARRI style mount clamp, it's easy for me to clamp this like so. And with this setup, we're actually looking at a total weight of around 2.68 kilograms, which is quite heavy for a camera setup. So it's gonna be good to see how well this tripod will hold up to it, especially on a horizontal angle. And since some of the best creators on YouTube can't live without coffee, I thought it'd be a good idea for us to make some coffee of our own. Now to do that, we're gonna need some coffee beans, a coffee grinder, a hipster coffee maker, coffee filters, and some hot water in a very stylish kettle. Let's pour in some coffee. Grind it. Fold the coffee filter. Place it in the coffee maker. Take your ground beans and pour some water. And voila, you have coffee. So would I recommend this tripod? Well, hear me out. I'm gonna give you a few reasons why I think this tripod is a really good investment. First reason, a good tripod will last you for a long time. I've bought cheap tripods in the past before. In all honesty, I broke them all. And so I ended up buying a new one. The tripod I'm using right now, I bought in 2017. And so now it's 2021. It's around 4 years old already. And it's still in perfect condition. Had I not bent it trying to do a DIY overhead setup at the time. Next, there are no compromises when it comes to video quality. And what I mean to say is that in my recent videos, I actually use a DJI Pocket 2 set on a light stand because it's small and it's light, so it's really easy to balance. But as great as that camera is, it can't really compete with the image quality of a full frame sensor with a full frame prime lens attached to it. And so that's something that I would definitely want to have, especially for all of my shots. And having the BENRO SystemGo gives me the confidence to mount all of that rig, all of that good stuff, and not worry about it toppling over. Third reason, while DIY rigs and some other overhead camera setups are great, like a C-stand or a light stand with a boom arm, it's a little bit of a hassle to keep setting them up and then tearing them down after every shoot. And for someone like me who doesn't really have the luxury of space, it's a huge plus for me that this tripod, the BENRO SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod, I can fold it neatly into a small bag and then tuck it away, which means I get to keep much of our living area free from camera gear during the day. Fourth reason is that this tripod is very versatile. It's a low angle tripod, it's a high angle tripod, it's a standard tripod, it's an overhead tripod, and it's even a monopod, which means you're essentially getting a 5 all-in-one tripod for that price point. And if you're bringing this one tripod with you, then it probably means you're ready for most shooting scenarios during the day. Lastly, what I think is the best value you'll get out of this tripod is that it looks really good. It's a premium looking, premium feeling piece of equipment that you'll feel like you're getting your money's worth. More importantly, it just works really well. It's able to handle really heavy payloads, so if you have a lighter camera setup than what we did, then you can rest easy, rest assured that the tripod is going to be able to take care of your gear. That being said, I do want to state that this is not an all-in-one do-it-all solution tripod. There are going to be times where different setups will be better, but for the kind of shots that I usually do for my videos, this is actually more than enough. Yeah, you could get away with other solutions, but based from, like I said, based from my personal experience, and I've done some of these solutions, most of the time I get discouraged to shoot my top-down videos because of it, or there's always some sort of compromise, whether it's the kind of camera or the lens that I use on the camera, which ultimately, leads me to just sometimes avoid shooting overhead videos. Honestly, I think there's two major reasons why someone would kind of shy away from this. The first reason being, as soon as we extended the legs, as you've seen in the test videos that we've done, they show up in the frame, especially with a wide angle lens like my Sigma 16mm, which means you'll need to be a little bit more creative in hiding the legs, or like what I did, I just used a different focal length, which is a bit zoomed in, which may or may not be something you want to do for your shots. With the legs extended, you kind of feel like the center column is a bit on the shorter side. You kind of wish that it extends a bit further, and I'm not sure if Benro has a different attachment or accessory for that, maybe a longer center column, but I do understand why it's that short. Again, this is a travel tripod. It's meant to be compact, and when you fold it up together with a longer center column, then it's just going to be a bigger footprint. So kind of get why it's that way. And even though it's a bit of an issue, there is an easy workaround. The second, and what I think is an even greater barrier to entry, is the price point. The BENRO SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod sells for around under 7,000 pesos to 8,000 pesos, depending on when and where you buy it. And like I mentioned in the video, you kind of need a separate accessory, an additional ball head or a fluid head to mount onto the tripod, which doesn't come with the tripod, so it will probably cost you another 5,000 pesos or so. And so for a setup, for an overhead setup, it will run you around 12,000 to 13,000 pesos, which in all honesty is quite a lot of money. I mean, not everybody is going to be willing to spend that much money on a tripod.
In conclusion, if you're in the market for an easy overhead setup that won't require you to put much effort into it, and you're wondering whether or not the BENRO SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod is effective and more importantly worth it, I'd say if you have the money and you're thinking of upgrading anyway, then go for this one. It works surprisingly well, it's a premium looking tripod, and most importantly, you'll be wanting to shoot more overhead shots just because of how easy it is to set up. It's one of those times where you can actually throw money at a problem and make it go away.
So let me know what you guys think about this tripod. If you're someone who's looking for an overhead rig, overhead camera setup, and you haven't quite figured out a good or the best solution for you yet, then maybe you can give the BENRO SystemGo Plus Travel 2 tripod a look. For more information, you can always check out the Facebook page and Instagram account of BENRO Philippines. If you have any questions about the tripod, please don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. My name is Justin, and again, I just really want to say thank you to BENRO Philippines for sending me this tripod. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching.